Hello, next generation participants. It's Thaddeus. I'm not just a computer, I'm actually a human. But we'll be seeing each other soon. Before then, I wanted to make this short video to explain an assignment that I'm going to give you during next week. And it's an assignment that I hope will help you practically apply some of the ideas and topics we're going to be discussing. For this activity, you're going to be using that web app that hopefully you've already signed into. And on this web app, you're going to be creating a lesson plan. And this lesson plan will be something you return to each day, adding some new ideas or activity suggestions that you think you could actually use when you go out to schools and actually practice teaching. So let me show you what it looks like. You can click or tap on the Start Lesson Plan button. And the first thing you'll do is you'll think about a topic for your lesson plan. For example, prepositions of location. This is a common, elementary type of grammar or lesson goal. So after choosing a topic, during the week, you're going to be adding details to your lesson plan. And for example, at the end of the first day, you should have some goals to add, some general expectations you have about what students should be able to do. So for example, after going over prepositions of location with students, I hope that students will be able to understand, the most common ones. Maybe not necessarily use all of them, but when they hear them or when they read them, they can find a location of an item. Now, we're going to want them to actually be able to use some of these prepositions. And maybe something realistic would be having them answer in a short way to give a preposition to indicate the location of something, like, where is the ball? Under. It's under. Something simple like that. We will also want them to read some short directions, maybe respond using those directions. This might be something we want to do in an activity later. For example, I could have them draw a monster, and they have to draw the monster using the description above the picture. So they add some details like an eye. Now, for our activities, we're going to need materials. So as you think about activities for your lesson, just add materials that are necessary to complete those activities in this section. For example, I might need some kind of printouts, some piece of paper to give them to complete their activity. I might have a short presentation to show them. Now, this activity section has 4 parts, starting with listening, and then you'll need to think of some speaking activities, reading activities, and finally, some writing activities for your lesson. A good lesson should have something of all of those areas. Finally, you'll have an opportunity to think about how you're going to assess how well students can understand the material. And one of the most common ways is just teacher observations. So we call this formative assessment. We'll be talking about this next week. But just add some information about how you're going to know how well your lesson achieved the goals you were setting out with. And don't worry, we're going to be talking about each of these areas every day next week, so you'll have help along the way. Finally, when you create your plan, you'll be able to see all of that information together on one document. Later, I'll give reviews, I'll give some feedback, and we'll even invite some of your classmates to give feedback. That's all for now. I'll see you next week.